Are you serious? That's pathetic. Today, I'm excited to finally be unboxing this enormous Casio AE-1500 after waiting patiently for one whole year. This hefty watch won your vote in our Watch of the Week community poll, so a massive thank you to the 250 plus people who participated. This is actually the oldest viewer-suggested watch that I own, so I think it's finally time that we dust this bad boy off and open it up and see what it's all about. Here she is. Oh, she is a big girl, isn't she? Let's get it out. Oh, there you go. So, look, I mean, it's big, but it's not actually as big as I imagined from what I've been hearing about this thing. So what do you reckon? Will I be able to pull this watch off with my wrist size? We'll check that in a second. But for now, the first thing I'm noticing is that they are really trying to sell this 10-year battery as the main feature. We've got it written there, also on the watch face itself, and then, of course, down here on the features. Let's get this screen protector off. Oh yeah, and that is a absolutely beautiful screen. There's also almost a texture behind the top and bottom half here, away from the main LCD in the middle. So let's get this off. And look, these straps are actually quite beefy as well. Those are a nice thick strap there. Actually, let's just measure that quickly. Got my digital calipers here. 20.6 mils. There you go. Now, I simply cannot wait to get this thing on for a wrist check because a lot of people have been telling me that this watch is large enough that it can be uncomfortable on the wrist. So let's take off what we're currently wearing. This is my Casio Bumblebee, one of my absolute all-time favorite watches. And if you want to see our unboxing of that one, check it out here. So this is my 6.5 inch or 16.5 centimeter wrist. What do you think about the size? I will say that there's no doubt that it is big, but it is still within the bounds of my wrist, and it doesn't look too large considering some of the G-Shocks, which I also wear, which I do have on hand. So let's give them a bit of a comparison. I think the largest I've probably got is this GDX 6900, which we restored in this video here if you missed it. And I would say that, yeah, this is definitely my widest. 54.4 mils. What about this AE-1500? Yeah, 51. So as a matter of fact, this is not my widest watch. So it looks like it might be a bit more similar in size to the GD350, which is at about 50.4 millimeters. And this is another one of my all-time favorites. But you got to remember, guys, these two are G-Shock watches, which actually offer shock protection. This thing is just a regular Casio, so it does not offer that despite being so large. So what benefits come into it for being this size? Well, the most obvious thing has to be the legibility of these enormously large digits. If we compare that to the GD350, which I know is on a negative display, black and white, but just look at the size of the actual digits there compared to the sheer heft on this AE-1500. Yeah, check that out. All the way back there, the AE-1500 is still perfectly clear. Whereas if we compare another positive display, the WS1700H, which we reviewed recently here, I guarantee that if we put this back at a similar distance, it's not going to be anywhere near as legible. Check that out and see for yourself. Now, the display for this watch may be large, but unfortunately, it's just made of Casio's normal resin. It's not made of the nice mineral glass that you'll find on G-Shocks. But fortunately, I am pretty sure that I preemptively bought a screen protector for it. So, I'm just going to bust out my watch toolbox here, and we're going to have a look inside and see if we do have it. These are all my screen protectors, and yes, check it out. I've written it on here, so surely I bought that a while ago. Yes, I knew it. AE-1500. Let's get it on. Oh, that that was stupid. I've been trying to put this thing on backwards. Sorry guys, I got confused. Luckily, it came in a 3-pack, so we've got 2 more attempts. Are you serious? That's pathetic. Oh man, we're down to our last attempt. Okay, that was a pathetic attempt. I have managed to fumble all 3 screen protectors, so we're just going to have to be unprotected for the next 1 week I'm wearing this, but I will of course be ordering another 3-pack of protectors to have another go. Well, I am a little disappointed that we didn't get any of these screen protectors on, but at least we're going to have an experiment over the next 1 week that I wear this watch. So make sure you're subscribed to find out whether there is any scratches that appear on this rather large resin lens. Now, if you know much about Casios, I'm sure you've heard of the Casio Royale, which we reviewed here, as it's one of the most popular Casio models on the market. But I always wondered, what is with these very similar model numbers? AE-1200, AE-1500, I know there's also an AE-1300, which is quite similar. But these watches are just so different that it doesn't really make sense to have such similar model numbers. Let me know if you know what Casio was thinking with this. Now, I understand there's also a few different cool colorways for the AE-1500. I just went with the standard black with a positive display, but let me know, which of these would you choose, or did you choose if you already own this watch? And for those of you who don't own this watch but are thinking about getting one, I have left a link to the best price I could find for you below, as it's actually quite affordable. It's not a G-Shock after all, just a normal Casio. Freshly groomed Bubble is here to tell everyone what she thinks you should do to the subscribe button. What do you reckon, Bubble? Yes, that's right. You should absolutely press that subscribe button. Good girl, Bubble. Good girl. Now let's take a look at the functions and features of this monstrously large Casio. First of all, on the home time menu, you'll note that we only have the hours and minutes in the main middle section, with the seconds on a separate line below. I suppose that helps from telling the time very clearly from a distance. We also have this cool animation running down the right-hand side of the display, which ticks along with every second. After the home time menu, we have the alarms, of which clearly we can tell that there will be 5. But if we turn one on, yeah, there it is. So as we turn each alarm on, there's a separate little part at the bottom which will let us know. So if I go to alarm 3, for example, and turn that on, that is really cool. You can always tell which alarms are on and off. And let's actually go in and try and edit this alarm, because I'm noticing that we have this section up the top, which to me suggests we might be able to set one per date. Yes, it does. Check it out. So alarm number 3 is only going to go off on that date, and there's 5 separate alarms that we can do that with. How cool is that? We can also do it once every month, for example. So if I wanted to go the 5th of every month for some reason, actually, now that's not good. I don't like that we cannot scroll backwards. So, the bottom one scrolls down, but we cannot scroll back up using the top. It simply turns on the backlight. It's kind of inconvenient having to scroll all the way back around when you want to get to the number that you are after. So, after this thorough and comprehensive alarm menu, what do we have? We have the timer, okay? Always a great feature to have. I do enjoy using this feature all the time. What's up next? We have the stopwatch, a classic. Now, you know me here at Goat Reviews. We're going to start this and try and land it on exactly 10 seconds. And if we do, you have to ram that like button. I like this cool animation, by the way. 8, 9, 10. Oh my God. Is that what I think it is? 10 seconds exactly. Smash that like button. Wait a minute. Are those milliseconds? Surely not. Oh, okay. No, let's just pretend those were zeros. After the stopwatch, we have dual time. Very cool to see this one, although it's not a feature that I particularly use, but it's very handy if you want to keep track of a second time zone. And what about the backlight of this model? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that is nice and clear, particularly with these hefty digits. Do any of you guys own an AE-1500? And are there any tips or tricks that I should be made aware of? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Also, does this behemoth of a watch already have a nickname? I certainly haven't heard of one if it does, so I'd love to hear what you think it should be called below. Well, whatever it's called, I promise you that I will be wearing this large Casio AE-1500 for the next 7 days straight to gain my thoughts for a review as part of Watch of the Week. So make sure you are a subscriber with notifications on so you don't miss out when it goes live. A massive shout out to our GOAT Crew members for supporting the channel, you absolute legends. By the way, I've just made a profile on Watch Crunch, which I've been loving lately. Come and follow me there for updates and wrist checks. Here's some more great content for you to watch next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. That's right, Bubble. Everyone should subscribe.